Hello, Internet. Today is 29 of 365, day 29. Dang it. I had the perfect title and it just escaped my brain. You know what? It's not the title, but thematically, it's the same thing. So, today is a day of the unknown. Oh. Okay. A day of the unknown. I was having a conversation with a kid I tutor about writing and when you write character, because I'm following this guidebook and, I'm a little bit of the example of those who cannot do teach, but I'm trying. I'm working on my story, and one of the things that I realize is a flaw in every writer is we never know how to write for the other. So, for example, women make a lot of mistakes when they write men. Whether it's like romantic lead characters or even seriously, like you have to write what you know. And without going too deep into beliefs or whatnot, I think it's really hard if you don't know certain experiences, certain stories. Like you just can't. You can imagine. But I think the pitfall is that we're going to make the same mistakes. So as I was sort of thinking, because, not only am I guiding and hoping to guide this kid into writing their own story, because instinctively they picked up on it. They're like, oh, I'm supposed to like this character. I think the author wanted me to like this character, but I actually hated this character. And I was like, why? Let's think about why. And I think the mistake that a lot of people make is you write your idealized version. As a girl, sometimes I'll write like the bad boy that I can fix. But if you look at a lot of the tropes, women tend to write men in a very specific way. We often think about how men write women, because I think it's a little bit more blatant. But women do it too. Women make that mistake. And as I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I grew up with, all sisters. I don't necessarily know. And I've had a lot of guy friends, but I just don't know. And here's the funny part of the story. I'm wearing these. I'm just, ran to my local grocery store to pick up late night snack and meal because I didn't have food. I had food, but I didn't, and I was like, I haven't eaten all day. So I wrote, or as I was walking. Okay, to be very honest on the physical of where I am, I'm overweight right now. I am on the first degree of obese, technically. Maybe obese. I used to be a little bit obese. I'm not super obese, but I'm just obese. But the issue is, and the reason I'm okay saying this about myself is, there's a lot of unhealthy fat, and one of the reasons I know is I'm trying to be as scientific about my body as possible without showing my body too much, is I got a belly and I got no booty. So when trying to find clothes, there's a bit of a challenge because either I have super muffin top or I need to get a super tight belt. Anyway, I'm wearing these sweatpants, which are sort of in between. And the danger is, like, most sweats have this elastic that kind of tightens them and holds them in place. Well, these don't have that. 99% of these sweats I like. They're cute, they're comfy, they're warm, but they don't have that. And with my odd body shape, due to poor choices in diet, which is ironic that I was getting a late night snack, I'm walking to my car and these pants are starting to slide down. And as they're sort of starting to slide down and my hands are kind of full, I'm like, oh my gosh. Immediately I pictured that scene in Clueless, 90 movies Clueless, where all the guys, like, she's kind of talking about guys, and Clueless being an modern update of Emma, but like she's breaking down guys, and you just see the shot of like boxers and then pants that are almost down to your legs, and I was like, I'm gonna become one of those guys. And I'm trying to look cool. I'm trying to look cool in the sense of not like stereotypically cool, but like, oh, I'm fine. I'm not panicking, even though I'm dead panicking. And I'm trying to hold my pants up casually as I could sort of feel it right now. And then I realized, oh, so this is why guys, when they wear oversized pants, seem to be holding their crotch. Because they're technically just holding their pants up. Fashion is hard. Fashion is hard. That trend, I don't know if it's died, or I don't know if it's like died and revived. But, yeah. If I can say a word to the internet, send it out there for some super cool designer to see. Can we make pants that for the lumpy bodies? The bodies that don't have booties but have bellies. Not necessarily in the but I am trying to work out. My body's still very broken. There's a lot of weight going on my knees and I'm trying to heal, but I need to work out and I need to find something that's gonna still hold that. And I don't embarrass easily, but I still do get embarrassed. I am human. And I was like, oh my gosh, is my sweater long enough? I have a naturally long torso, so yeah. And then I was like, oh, I don't think it's long enough. Oh, I think it's past the line of where the sweater meets. Oh no, what do I do? But I made it to my car in time. The irony is, because I was in panic mode but trying to look cool, I brought the cart too close to my trunk, so when the automatic thing, it like hit and I was like, it's like that feeling when you have to pee, but as a grown-up, you want to not be like that kid who's like, can we get off the rest stop, I have to pee. It's the, I held it, I could hold it, I'll be fine. But you're like, oh my gosh, this is acting up on my anxiety. Anyway, that was my evening. But as I was thinking about the unknown, and then I realized that there are some things that are not necessarily known, but like not necessarily gender specific. Girls can wear pants that are too baggy and then just start to slide down there. Is it the fault of fashion in general? Is it anyone's fault? Is it just funny circumstances? I don't know. But as I think about how I want to write this rom-com, and doing my whole fair research of guys in my vicinity, yeah, I want to write men better. Like, yeah, I think you have to idealize a little bit. And I think it's okay. But just don't do it to a point where, like, because women become insufferable. men become insufferable. And I was at the library the other day, and I was reading some of these descriptions, and even from the description of it, and to be fair, you should not judge a book solely by its cover, even its inner cover, but to a certain degree you have to, because if you're going to invest any bit of time, you have to kind of skim through. And I was reading one, and I was like, this is just, I know where it's going, and I was just annoyed because it was just such, and when you get annoyed, but then you have to like check yourself, because again, you haven't written a book and they're published and they have a book in the library. But I was like, I know I'm not going to read this because I have studied enough of like tactics of writing and stuff that like I'm just not going to care. There's books that I can reread time and time again, because even after studying it, and like you study it to death and you're like, man, I don't think I could read this again, I could go back and read it. Prime example, any Shakespeare. I studied a lot of Shakespeare, but there's a difference when you study it freshman English versus when you're like study it as an actor. Number one rule of Shakespeare: as you read it out loud. Even if you're gonna butcher the pronunciation, iambic pentameter is more natural to our speech than we think. And then as you're reading it out loud, and I've learned this with the Bible as I'm doing it, something about reading in your own voice, like the words come alive. Yeah, I need to, I kind of cheated yesterday and I didn't read it out loud, and today I'm gonna read out loud again, but my voice hurts, my throat hurts, I think I'm getting sick. I hope I'm not getting sick, but I have symptoms. My room is still chaos, but it's in stage 2 of chaos, where it's more chaotic, but in a good way, where I realize some of the clutter I've hung on to for too long, and I just need to be cold and just say no. And all the memories, or all that like regret of I didn't get to use this enough, I didn't get to wear this enough, you just gotta be like, no. Why are you letting this thing define or live rent-free in your space? People talk about living rent-free in your head. Why are you letting this thing live rent-free? Why? So, yeah. Like, I'm looking at something right now, and I'm like, why am I letting that live rent-free? The challenge now, though, because it's a CD, like a computer disc, and I'm like, I think I got rid of the for CDs, and now I can't transfer it, and I have to transfer it. What do I do? Okay, that might be one of those things I have to hang on long enough to get something to transfer it, so it's a digital file. Yeah. Anyway, a day into the unknown. A day where I thought about, what do I know? What do I not know? And then laughing about it. Yeah, panicking, laughing, enjoying. There's still chaos, but it's progressing instead of just stagnating. Thought that entered my head as I end the night is, when you are grown up and you do know a fair amount of vocabulary words, how do you learn more? Or maybe relearn? Maybe I just forgotten. Because, Shakespeare knew a lot of words. And I'm not saying I ever was at Shakespeare level, but could I get to Shakespeare level? Who knows? But yeah, it's the weekend coming up. Okay, yeah, see, I'm fading. My brain is fading. I need to go. Bye.